Hello everyone, we're live now.
Yes, David, you're live now.
Joseph, we are ready to go?
Yes.
Fantastic. Hey everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the session today. As you're aware, we've been running the online safety trainings the last 2 weeks, and this is, I think, the 5th of the training we've managed. So the online safety training is brought to you courtesy of Google, and we are working closely with the Cape Town Sun Center, who are able to coordinate and ensure that we're able to get this very important information to not only parents, teachers, but also that this information can be able to get to our kids. So today's session, we have very interesting trainers. The first one I'll introduce is Mr. Fred. So Mr. Fred has a very long CV. I think I have to read it aloud. So Fred is a high school teacher from Western region in Kenya. He's a technology coach. He's a Google Educators Group Kenyan leader. You know, Google groups have teachers have a group, and he's the Kenyan team leader. He is a certified Google for Education trainer, a very close friend, colleague, and I am sure that you'll be able to enjoy the session of today that Mr. Fred will be facilitating. The second trainer is Madam Clarice Bwanga, coming from Nakuru. Madam Clarice is ICT teacher, very experienced in the school, working with students in computer and computer education. Again, Madam Clarice has been involved in many online safety trainings. And actually, she was the first one who opened up the online safety training. So this is a very interactive session. We welcome all of you. Ask as many questions as you wish. Most important is to share out this knowledge and be able to learn and be able to use the different tools and resources that our trainer of today will be able to share with you. So I welcome all of you and hopefully see you at the end of the training. So at this point in time, I welcome, should I start with Fred or Madam Clarice?
Yes,
Fred, are you ready? You're ready to go? All right.
Yeah, thank you.
You take over, man. Take over.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, David, the Cape Town, Sort Up, and everyone who has made this event possible. I'm also happy to be with my co-presenter, Clarice Bwanga, today. As you know about safety online, this is a very important topic, and you know that we have more challenges. Like recently in Kenya, we had challenges from Safaricom. They were celebrating their 20th anniversary, and there is a scam which came around, and people were so much interested in that someone they are sharing. So we need to get to know how the best way we can get to understand how to help each other during this during time for online. So I'm going to share my screen, and So this is the template from the Cape Town, and we're going to use it to check on what to be on safe online. And as you can see from the screen itself, the pamphlet, the curriculum can work on both kids, teachers, and parents. And we're so happy about that. And we're going to do the first five slides for my co-presenter takes over. So as you can see from the screen itself, we have about 5 tenets of the Internet Awesome, where we should have to get to know the skills and tools for us. So if I can, if you can, and before we continue on doing our talk today, please let us know where you're coming from. Just put your name on the chat and the county and even the country you're coming from, and feel free to just chat and see add to what we have to talk today. So as you can see from the first template, it is free for all. It's not something which is more to one educator or maybe to one community. It is all about being be digital awesome, and how to be safe online is one thing which is supposed to act for all of us, not only one, but every one of us. And now, if you have to look, there are some of the things, because when you talk about being online, most of us tend to think that it is more to do with the being social media, doing Facebook, doing YouTube, like the reason for the kids, TikTok, and other platforms. So that is one of the things I think most presenters think and our viewers. So as you can see from the first chart here, you can see how often do you use the internet. And maybe on the chat below, on the message, you can also do something and tell us how do you use the internet. So for example, you can see you can use the internet to chat with friends. You can use the internet to do your homework, of course, those for the kids. You can use the internet to share photos of yourself and your family. And also you can use internet for funny photos and the videos. That one I have in mind, TikTok, and then even the short stories. So as you can see on that, there are many ways you can use the internet, but they are not limited. But it is the only places you can use the internet. So on the chat below, you can add on what you can use on the internet. So now, as each and every one of us is aware of the pros and cons of the internet, that's the good side and the bad side. And actually not actually say the bad side, but the challenging one. And as most of the time happens, we usually find there are some challenges or to do with when you are online. And one of them, there are some other things we do. For example, there's something called oversharing that we'll also talk about in the forum slides. So you could think, what's an overshare? What could be an hacker? Because you hear people talking about hackers and people saying that you have to be security, remember your password, your privacy and other things. We also about the features, like the what was talking about the corrections, which was Safaricom when they were celebrating. The people were sending a URL, which is malicious, and they're getting some information, which of course has some challenges. And of course, you usually also have the troublemaker, and this is some of the people who are maybe the cyberbullying factoring, you know about that one, and those are some of the challenges we have. So we have the bad guys and on the online, and also be tackling more on that. So on the chat below, you can just put something and say of like, do you think in your mind, or maybe have you ever encountered which experience? You can even put up an experience on some of the challenges which you have found. And now, this is our main course today, because we are, this is our actually the main objective today, the ultimate aim for us. But when you are online, what are you supposed which are the notes, how are you going to be empowered? That's the best way I can say. So our aim today is to empower you how to be an internet hero. And that is being an internet hero does not only say that you should be a kid or should be a parent, it's all inclusive. Everybody is affected by the technology. So because we are using technology, and in particular the online stuff, that's why I say one of the tenets is to be sharp, and that is one, as you can see from there, you should share with care. The next one should be strong, that's number 2. That is secure your secret, that we'll talk about the password and other stuff. And then there is also alert. As you are aware of people talking about fake news and other things. So which way are you going to know that this is fake or news? And then also, you should be kind. We're not talking about being kind, people are who bully other people online. Bullying can be face to face or online. So this is also good to be kind. And also, you should be brave and talk it about. So if you have challenges, don't hesitate. You should talk on the challenges. Don't just keep it on yourself. If you are a victim of cyberbullying, don't just put it the way like that. So those are the 5 tenets which my co-presenter would expound more. But that does not mean that you should not do ads on the chat below, add something which you think is all that. So our target should be on these 5 objectives. And of course, do be on the sharp, but when I reach here, I think is a good time for me to welcome my co-presenter to expound on the 5 year. So of course, she will start with the bishop. So, and be strong, be alert, be kind, and be brave. So while she's sharing her screen, share your on your chat below and other stuff. Thank you. I'm welcoming my fellow presenter, Clarice Bwanga.
Madam Clarice, maybe you can unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Joseph. I think I'm now audible enough. So what I'm just saying is thank you very much, Fred, for the brief introduction. I will take you through the 5 objectives. I term them as 5 objectives for you to be an internet hero. So by the end of this presentation, I believe we are going to be internet heroes. So allow me to share my screen. Yeah, so what we want to talk about when we talk about sharp, just as the word says sharp, it means that, in other words, I will maybe use a synonym to equate it with smart. Meaning that when you are sharing, what you are sharing, you have to be very, very careful. And that's why you normally find us saying that internet never forgets. So when what you share, get to know that your children will see it, you are on what we are sharing. So what I want to say now is that just by a click of a button. Remember, sometimes we may just think that these things are not very important, but you're going to realize that just by a click of a button, it allows us to share, to reach several people and share many information. So I just want to share my next slide, whereby you'll find that maybe sometimes you are able to, you have been able to see that picture. So if I may just ask, if there's anyone who has ever seen that image, maybe in the social media, maybe in the internet, if you have ever seen it, and that one will make us know that it is good to be smart. So that particular picture is just for a person by the name Salt Bay. It's just a video of a man preparing a barbecue piece of meat. So if you are able to see it, you are going to realize that maybe the audience, several people have seen it. So that one gives us no doubt that we should be very, very careful on what we are sending. So we have different pictures there. You can see we have different pictures there. And the images which goes viral sometimes. So if the images that we have there, maybe they have ever gone viral. And when we say something have gone viral, it means that it's something that has been seen by several people. Like we may say now, like the video, the initial slide that I was having about the Salt Bay, it has been over 6 million, it has 6 million viewers. And this one, maybe you can just, maybe after the presentation, you can just go and maybe Google and find out if what I'm really trying to tell you is that, is it true? So, and that one we still emphasize on, we should be very, very objective on what we share. So there's a YouTube, if you can see there, this is about Emanuela. So sometimes we may share things, just maybe even if they go viral, they may not be of bad intention. So that's why I will just be in a position to tell you that anytime we share, it is important to us to know that anything we share has the potential to be forwarded. What I mean by forwarded is it has the potential to be reshared. So you may share as a person, but there are several people who can always re-forward it. And sometimes, like the video of Emanuela, sometimes when somebody forwarded it, you just forward it for fun. So we have what we term as oversharing. Remember, Fred showed us these 5 bad guys, and sometimes why would I say that it is not advisable as to over? This one says sometimes you are fond of oversharing and to share important information, but people will just surpass your information or what you have shared by saying that, we are used to Clarice. Clarice is a person who keeps on just sharing anything that she comes across. So that is very, very advisable that as much as we will want to share, because sharing is very important, especially when you have knowledge, but it is advisable not to overshare. Like a good example, you will find that that's a student by the name Chipo BT. Chipo BT might have shared or might have posted, might have posted on the timeline, whichever it may be. It can be on a WhatsApp timeline, it can be Instagram, it can be Facebook. I hate my teacher. So once she shared that, let me assume she's a she, you realize that this particular word she might have shared might it might reach the teacher. And when it reaches the teacher, I believe as the educators and a parent, if maybe, I can rephrase it by saying that maybe as a child say that I hate my parent, and then it reaches you, if you are a parent or if you are a teacher, I think you will not like it. So that is why we are trying to help you, and we are trying to emphasize that we should advise our teenagers, and especially of the age between 7 to 14, to know on what to share on the platform, because it might cost them one day. So we have what we say just like settings. When I talk of settings, here I just want to bring into your attention that it's always good for you to know your audience, and you can customize your audience to know if what you want them to see or what you don't want them to see, and especially when you are sharing. Like maybe I may believe, maybe if I want, like I will use the post that we have just seen, I hate my teacher. Maybe this particular student was just making it for fun and all that, but she would have customized her settings. When I talk of customizing your setting, is get to know who you can allow to see your status, get to know who you can allow to comment on your status, and that one you'll always find that when you go to customize, if you go to settings, it will always give you that option. So you can see there's a picture there. So what I'll want you to, my objective there is maybe if we can recognize if there's any benefit. I think it's a video and it should be playing. Is there any benefit of the content? So just take 1 minute and watch the video. I just want us to take 1 minute and watch the video.
Yes, at least you have taken the 1 minute and you have watched the video. And that's why I'm trying to say that sometimes sharing, we normally do it sometimes to be an incredible force of good, not for bad. And we don't do sharing at all that time. So I will just want to ask, maybe what you saw, you can maybe see what you saw in that particular video. Maybe you can use your chat and just describe. So you'll find there was some good content. If you are very keen for that 1 minute, you'll find that there's some good content about the video. So we are not saying that anytime we share things that are not good. So we will, I will ask you, like you'll find that maybe we have, I will name them, we can name them using roles like, is it really proper to share what you are seeing? So that is what I would really want us to see, because sometimes you find that like share your email password. Is it really okay? So I just want you to go to the chat and say, like I will say, I will label them, maybe 1, 2 on row, we label them towards their rows. So tell me, like I will ask, is it really important? Is it really good to share your password? And that should be on the chat section. Maybe is it really good to share your location of the restaurant where you are? Is it really good also to share if you are an invitation to your party? So those are some of the things that I would really want you to be able to tell me through the chat section. Before we go to the next one, that we will do some play whereby you will be answering yes. Is it really worth to share your photos and music? Is it good to share your holidays dates? And also your school location. So I think you have those are those charts, you can be able to see them. So those are some of the things that I was trying to help you know that yes, we can. There are those things that are not good to share, but there are some things that are good to share. So we are going to take some play here. So we are just going to do it's like a play for you, for me also to help me as somebody who's doing this presentation, if you have really understood what I've said. So I will start by asking, play. Once it's on the internet, it stays there forever. So is it true? So I just want you to tell me, is it really true that once I've posted my picture on the internet, it will stay there forever? Okay, let's see the right thing. It is very true. And remember, I did say that true that 1.37 billion people use internet. Okay, let me have a look at there. It is very true. And remember, just as the COVID-19 came, internet is the way to go. It's either we are using it for we telecommuting, that is having meetings at home, working at home, or even we are using it for virtual learning, we are using it for e-learning. So it is very true that 1.37 billion people use internet. People like becoming memes and go viral. Would you like to go viral? Maybe you posted some picture, your picture is funny, because mostly funny pictures or maybe funny posts or funny videos are the types of videos that go viral. Would you love that? So just say yes. Is it true? So you can go to the chat section and you indicate if it's true or if it is false. Yeah, automatically, nobody will want his or her own photos or her own videos that are not really pleasant go viral. Lastly, sharing online can reveal your location. Yes, sharing online can reveal your location. For those who have done something we have something called Google Map. That one I'm just giving you a tip. Is it really true
that people can know that Clarice now is doing the presentation in Nakuru right now. So let's find out. Yeah, so it is very true, because we even have what we term as Google Map, and even if you go to Facebook, you'll find where there's some place they have that feature term as nearby. So when you activate your nearby on, people will always know your location. Another one is, if I don't share it with my parents, they won't see it. For example, maybe I can phrase it, if I don't share it with my boss that I'm currently doing an online presentation, she will not be able to see it. Is it true or false? Automatically, it is false, because at the end of the day, somebody might have reshared my poster, and automatically my boss will know that Clarice is doing some presentation somewhere with the Sote Hub. So that is it, and we are now done with the first objective, and I believe you'll now be very sharp. And congratulations, you have passed the first test. We still have some more 4 to go. So be mindful on what you share. The next one is be strong. When I talk of be strong here, is how to secure your password. And we normally say that password is the first line of defense, especially when you are dealing with the internet. So the best thing is that make sure that when you're sharing when you are creating a password, make sure you create a strong password, which is very easy to remember, but very difficult for someone to guess. And that one brings us to the next guy. Remember the next guy, the next bad guy, who we said was termed as a hacker. A hacker is just a person who will want to get into information, especially when you are online, for malicious purposes. So when I talk of malicious purposes, maybe they'll want to get your bank details to go and withdraw monies from your account. So this hacker, we should very, very find a way on how to deal with. And by doing that, it's just by when we are strong on the internet. So we have some codes there. So we have, can you crack these codes? Yeah, so can you be able to crack the code? I believe, maybe let me start with number 1. What will you guess? Which number can you guess is in between there? So you just use the chat section and type. I'm just on number 1. Which one can you guess? Yes, so you find, I believe there's somebody who has gotten it. You just guess the number is 4 because of the systematically. And then we have the number 2. Which letters are missing? Imagine this were my password. Which letters were missing? So let's see. That is very easy, and you'll just find that it was double S and R on this. When you feed them, you find the word password. And lastly, we have the last one, which is hello. So that's why we are telling you, when you are creating a password, don't just create password that will make work easy for the crackers. So we have what is a strong password. So when we talk of a strong password, remember my introduction, I said strong password, easy to remember, but difficult to guess. So in this particular category is whereby strong password, I may say, always make sure, and mostly not even make sure, you're going to realize nowadays when you're opening any account, they will not accept less than 8 characters. And in computer, even spacebar will count as a character. So they will not accept less than 8 characters. That is number 1. That one will entail a strong password. Yeah. And then the next one that will always, after that, always have a mix of numbers and letters. When I mean by numbers and letters, numbers is 0 to 9 and letters is A to Z. That is point number 2 when you want to create a strong password. Point number 3, always have uppercase and lowercase characters. In computers, uppercase stands for capital letters, whereas the lowercase stands for small letters. So first 8 character, mix the numbers and letter, and then also have an uppercase and a lowercase. And we also have the last one, use special characters. When I use special character, what I mean is like maybe I wanted to type I will use an exclamation mark. Maybe if I wanted to type letter E, I will use maybe a $sign. So it will be very, very difficult for someone to mix up or somebody to be able to create, to hack your account or to guess your password. So we want to just make some, I want just to show you sometimes, let's make it memorable, what you can always do for which particular number you can always replace with which one. So you will find here, like, can you crack the codes? What I mean here is like, maybe if I wanted, which number, I just want you to go, maybe you can tell me later, maybe I'll give you, let me give you a clue. If I want to write letter E, I will write letter, I'll merge E and 3. So go to your chat section and tell me which one will you merge. I've given you an example. Me, if I instead of using, maybe my password was tell, I will use T, and then instead of typing letter E, I will type 3. So can you match the codes, how you will want them to be? I can also decide, maybe I give you a very good example. Instead of using an I will use an exclamation mark that I had already given you. Yeah, so you can see if you have matched them rightly, you will see how now you can be able to use this, what now I term as special characters. So how do we create password? So the very first thing, I've given you the steps, and I gave you the 4 steps. Number 1, always make sure there are more than 8 characters. Just a reminder for those who are joining us. Number 2, make sure there's a mixture of numbers and letters. Number 3, make sure there's uppercase and lowercase. And lastly, number 5, always use symbol. So when you want to create a password, we can always use what we term as passphrase. When I talk of passphrase is something that is memorable that you can think of, like my little brother Ethan was born in December. So this is a passphrase. So this passphrase, how will I create it? I may decide I will take the first letters, maybe M, L, E, W, O, maybe I take B, O here, I, and then December. So when I'll want to, that one will be very easy for me to remember. So you can see how that one is well created, like my little brother. You can see here, my little brother Ethan, and then the word Ethan has started with uppercase, was born in, you see in December. So that's how to create a passphrase. Let's have another passphrase. Now here, we have now changed the letters into numbers and symbols. So you will see my little brother Ethan. You see now, instead of using E, he has used 3. Ethan was born in. Instead of using I, he has used the exclamation mark. And then December, instead of using B, he has used 8, and E, he has used that. So that is how we create a strong password. So that always be able, you can remember your password. So we really want to go to another activity here. Just read this. Using a unique password for each of your account is important. So can you say it's a do or a don't? Using an account for each, using a unique password for each an account, is it a do or a don't? Automatically it's a do, because if I use a similar one for all my account, when a cracker gets into them, well, let me tell you, I'm done, because he'll be able to know all my details in all my accounts. So let's go to the next one. Using personal information, name and address, phone numbers when making a password is right. Is that right? So can you go to chat section and indicate whether it's a do or a don't? Please go to that and indicate if it's a do or a don't. Automatically, people will always use your password as a game, to guess the very first thing. They'll always want to check your password by using your names. and maybe some things that they know about you. So don't ever try that. Use password that is easy to guess, like your nickname or favorite baseball team. Use password, and remember the key thing there is easy to guess. Automatically don't use things that is easy to guess. Remember, we have said use password that is easy to remember but difficult to guess. Use at least 8 characters. So is that a do or a don't? Is that a do or a don't? So let's see, what is it? Yeah, it is, and that was our first guideline when you are creating a password. Let it have 8 characters and more. The next one, share your password with people so that you don't forget it. Just go create an account, maybe with your Gmail account. I know everybody has a Gmail account here. So please just create that one, and then you go and publish it somewhere. Is it a do or a don't? Automatically, your password is your secret. And that's why we say that it's always don't ever share it with someone. And also don't forget it, because if you forget it, most sometimes we say that you need to forget that account. Another one, log out your account after you are finished on a public computer. Remember, the word public computer is key. Log out your account when you are finished on a public computer. So let's see. That is very important. Always log out when you're finished with a public computer, because if you just don't log out, it means that the next person, let me say if you're working on a site, maybe you're in a library, you leave your account and you've logged in. It means the next person coming to use that public computer will be able to get access to your details and your information. So it's advisable to always log out, and also don't ever allow the computer to remember for you your password. Hey, tick, remember my password when using a public computer. I've even given you a leakage here. Most of the time you realize if it's the first time you are logging to a new device, especially computer in cyber places or in public places, or maybe you borrow your friend, and once you have logged in into your Gmail account, I'm using Gmail account as an example here, it will always ask you, do we remind you your password, or do you make it to remember your password? Please never click that option, remember my password. Yes, so I think now we are done with our second objective. We are now sharp, we are now strong. So it will be very difficult for us to fall into the trap of the hackers. So the next thing is we have to be very alert. What I mean by alert, we don't need to fall for fake information. So that is what we're going to deal with. And now the bad guy that we're now going to deal with is now, remember, we are from hackers. We are from the first one we were dealing with, the first bad guy we were dealing with was oversharing. And then we went to the hacker, and now we are into the fisher. So this is also another bad guy who will lure you with false information to get your details. So we have to find a way on how to just deal with him. So you find that particular info, 1 million. I've told you the fishes were luring. So when you see, and maybe you are broke with this era of COVID knowledge, a computer will just be able to click there, and then at the end of the day, when you click there, you will find that it will continue asking your detail until by that time you will realize you have given very important information to the fishers. And once you have given to the important information, they are able to achieve their objective. So when you see such link, you shouldn't click on them. And if you just make a mistake of clicking on it, don't go and install anything that maybe you may be asked to install. Because if you go installing it, maybe your computer, you might be installing a virus onto your computer, which might cost you at the end. So another thing is how to spot fake news. You can now see what we term as the URL. And we term it as the web address, especially when you're on Google and the place where you normally type the web address. It is always very important to check the start of HTTP. Let it always have something like S at the end of it. The S normally stands for it's secure and it is legitimate. So make sure that if you find such particular website, please, I will advise you not to click on them, because sometimes some of them may not be fake, but they are not secure. So automatically your computer might end up being infected with a virus. So we are going to have some games here. So you'll either be able to tell me if it's real or fake. Yes, so the first one, does the site include the badge of a trustworthy site, like a badge? Does the site include an indicator of a trustworthy, like a badge? So those are things I want you to check on it. Does the URL match the name? So those are some of the things that you really want to know. If it does not match, when I talk of a badge of trustworthy, you will always find, like you find for the Google, they have their badge, and then the name. Check on the URL name. So if the URL does not match with what you are looking for, automatically that becomes fake. Does the offer seem too good to be true? And this one you'll find like somebody there's nothing free in Kenya, whereby you are told just click here to get $1 million. How easy is that? So check if the information is too good to be true. Are there any pop-ups? Pop-ups are these, maybe you have just opened a website, or maybe you have opened a web page, and what you just find is some pop-ups. So if there's a lot of pop-ups, automatically always be very careful on those pop-ups. And this one does the and and is the person or the site asking you to reveal your private information. So anytime when you find those particular sites that are asking you to reveal your private information, and when I talk of private information, are things like your name, your ID number, your work permit, your bank account, your password. So those are what we term as the private information. So we really want to play again, just as the one that we played about the password. So I want you to tell me, is that particular, if you check on the subject, yeah, the email that you can check, is it really a genuine one or is it fake? And then those are some of the things. Just can you be able to check on that? And then maybe we have that one also. Can you really be able to check on the URL? Is it having the HTTPS? Those are some of the things you're supposed to be checking. So make sure it has the HTTPS in the URL, and also make sure there's a security tag, or sometimes we refer to it as the padlock. And lastly, check the domain name if it matches the content of what you are about to click. So automatically, this one automatically will say that it is not really, it is real, because you will find that there's that, I can see there's that padlock, and I can also see the URL has the S next to it. When we talk, congratulations, you have won an iPhone. That's a good deal. Is it really fake or true? So one thing I will say this automatically is fake, because even first check on the font type. These ones are very small here and this one. So it means that that one was not even prepared by somebody who is professional, who should know that. How to balance the font type, that is number one. Another thing, it looks like a pop-up. And remember, we did say that pop-ups don't be very easy. Don't be very easy to go with the pop-ups, yeah? So, and then asking you to give away contact details. We said you are not supposed to be sharing your private information. Yeah, so we have another one there. Hello, friend. I have won a lottery. I just want to share good luck with you. I will give you that particular amount. Is it really? That one automatically, the offer is too good to be true. That is number one. So that one is start being spectacle, asking for confidential information to give away the money. Remember, we said don't share your private. And then it seems to be a generic email. So those are some of the things that you really have to put in consideration and make sure you don't really give out the information. Another one, hi, you seem like a funny person to hang out with. How will you just meet somebody on the internet? And then also one thing that I will really say this is fake. If somebody really wants to talk to me or really somebody wants me to get the information, I should be able to see their profile picture. So if you find, and especially this one, especially on our social media, you find those people who don't have social media pictures, I will advise you be very skeptical to accept their friend requests. And then requesting access to your personal information, that one we did say it is no. So automatically that one becomes fake. When you check on that, it's like Facebook account has been blah, blah, it has been violated policy to avoid your account being suspended, do that. I think that one automatically probably it is fake. Because one thing, the link looks suspicious. Why is the link look suspicious? I will say if it was for the Facebook, information was you had violated the Facebook. I think it should have ended with facebook.com, but not that particular what it has ended with. So that one automatically it makes it look suspicious. So we are done with the third guy. So just bear with me. In the next maybe 15 minutes, I will be done. And we will be dealing now with be kind, be cool. When you are on the internet, just be cool. What I mean by being cool is that try not to be a troublemaker. And when I talk of troublemaker, now this is whereby we'll be talking of online bullying. So this is what we really want or to see how we can avoid. And that's why we have now our fourth guy here, the troublemaker. So when we talk of being kind, I've just said is that don't bully people online. Because when you bully people online, remember some people have taken away their lives because of being bullied online. So always try to do something that you will want somebody else to do for you. Don't hurt people, because when I talk of bullying here, what I'm trying to just talk about is hurting people's feelings. So that these troublemakers, these bullies, you'll always find them online. So how do we deal with them? So we will say that what a major thing here, I just want us to reflect on the spirit of behaving, on how we should behave once others are affected online, and also how should we demonstrate some courteous, how should we be courteous when we are online. So I'm just want to ask, have ever someone been bullied online? Yeah, has someone ever been bullied online? And if you have ever been bullied online, how did you feel? So those are some of the things that I will want us to do and see what we can be able to assist one another. Ways to spread kindness. So I just want you to tell me, how will you spread kindness when you are online? How are you going to spread kindness? For example, your friend is being bullied. So those are the things that I really want you to brainstorm and tell me on the chat section. How are you going to spread kindness when you realize that your friend is being bullied? Yeah, so we are going to find some way just by being an upstander or using a counter positive speech in case you realize that your friend. So what can you do? Someone found your friend's phone and sent a real mean message to everyone. What will you do? So what will you do in such scenario? So I think what I will do is just I've said by spreading positive, by counteracting the negative information that this friend had already, because it's already on the public domain. So if I'm in that particular group, I will counteract it with positive feedback, and that one I will have helped my friend. Another one, someone is posting serious means comment about one of the students in your class on your class blog. So here is whereby we need real upstanders, and by trying when you realize this person is constant posting the wrong, the mean is something that you will not want people to hear about a person, you will always be advisable to be an upstander. There is an online game that a bunch of your friends are playing. This one time, one player starts saying real nasty stuff about one of your friends who is playing, and they just won't stop. So here we will now find ways on how we can. If you really find this one that they don't want to stop, you are trying to be an upstander, we are going to find how you can be in a position. It's just one thing I will advise. If it's so much, maybe the friend may stop playing the game, so that they can be able to avoid bullying this particular friend of yours. So we are now moving to how to be kind. So how do I be kind? Like that one who is just constant and they are not able to stop saying nasty things about their friend. So what you can advise is to block them. That is what we are supposed to be doing. Another one, I've said, support one another. Support one another is just being by using the counter positive speech. Being an upstander is whereby when I talk of an upstander, you must be very kind, you must be very supportive, you be ready to help your friend. And lastly is take responsibility. If they have crucified me, that me, Clarice, I am a bully, that I will take the responsibility. And how am I going to take the responsibility? One, by apologizing. Secondly, by pulling down one, I will accept that I did wrong. Secondly, I will apologize. And lastly, I will, after apologizing, I will pull that bad comment. And thank you very much for listening to me. We are now done with our fourth objective, and we are just winding up with our last objective, which is brave. So when we talk of brave, somebody brave is somebody who can speak. So that is what our brave. You can say something, you talk it out. If you really find things are not good, you report. You have proof, and don't be afraid. So when you have all those qualities, and we will want to encourage our students and our children that they must have this. If they really find that they are being bullied, let them talk about it. And they realize they're being bullied online, let them talk about it. Let them talk to those people, maybe the elders. Yeah, so that we build that build and for them having confidence in us, we will be able to be heroes when we are on the internet. So let's talk. We want to talk, and in this particular, we just want to finish up, and we are going to test how much the hero training, what you have gotten, and now what I just want us to do. I've said we will really be able to talk. So we have here, what do? You get a chat from someone with whom you are familiar. I saw your maths class today. You are cute. What is your address? Can I hang over with you? What will you do in this particular scenario? What can you do? One thing is be brave, share this particular content with your teacher. If this person, remember this person is, you found this person, maybe is online, you don't even know it. This person must be even a fisher who just want to get important information, your personal information. And then what do? You accidentally download a virus on your computer. How will you respond? Please, on the chat section. How are we going to respond if I realize that, okay, there was a link, and that link that I managed, what am I going to do now? I've already installed this virus. Yeah, so if there are children below the age of maybe 7, they can tell them to talk to you so that you can run the antivirus. And if they are 14 years, some 14 years knows how to run the antivirus. So maybe advise them to run the antivirus. And then what do? You see a message that says, everyone to wear purple tomorrow, but don't tell Little. What are you going to do about such? Yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah, so one thing is you have to be very, remember I told you don't believe anything on the internet. So you have to be very skeptical. Why am I being told not to tell so-and-so? And then what do? A student posts a group photo in a public account and you hate the way you look in it. Will you report the photo or not? How can you respond? So just go to the chat section and be able, because I think we're just winding up on how to be brave. Remember, we said if one thing is that maybe the person who has posted, this person must be a bully. So one thing, if it were me, I will ask the person, please, to pull down that photo. That will be the very, very first thing. And if she or he decide to pull it down, we will shake hands and we become friends. But if the person is still adamant, does not want to pull down the photo, automatically I will report. And it will depend with which particular platform I will be, because all the platforms you'll find is that option of reporting. And once I report, the necessary action will be taken. Yes, so we have now completed, and thank you very much for listening to me. So this is how to be an internet hero. We have already taken all the 5 objectives. So the very first one, I did say you have to be smart, and we did show you how to be smart, avoid oversharing. Number 2, be alert. When we talk alert, don't fall into the hands of the hackers. Number 4, strong. Set your password, which is your first line of defense. Be easy to remember, but difficult to guess. And lastly, be kind. Don't be a bully when you are online. And lastly, we talked about be brave. So brave means that speak it out. Don't allow people to bully you, and you just accept. And that marks the end of my presentation. So if you really want to learn more, you can copy, or maybe you can take a screenshot of the child, what I've just projected, and you will learn more on how to be internet. So how to be safe when you are on internet. So thank you very much. I believe you have taken the screenshot of those particular addresses whereby you can be able to get your information. So I will say thank you very much for listening to me. Yeah, thank you very much for listening to me. And what do I say now? I will just say, may God bless you. So is there any questions that we need? Back to you, David.
Outside. Thank you very much, Clarice. That was really awesome. I enjoyed the number of things I've been able to learn especially on passwords. A lot of times we use our date of birth. So if you are born 1979, it will be in ATM. It will also be in M-Pesa, and it will be on Gmail and all the, you know. And I think this is really a fundamental issue. Last year, I think Kenya lost nearly 400 million US dollars in terms of cybersecurity related things. And I think your training, as captured also by Mr. Fred, I think has been fantastic. I don't know whether, Fred, you have anything you want to add?
Thank you so much for those who attended the event. Thank you so much.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I don't know whether there is any more question. If there's any more question for our experts, Mr. Fred and Madam Clarice, I think you can still write them down. But this conversation definitely is continuing online. And so this video, this thread is available. The presentation is also being shared with you. And so you can also be a trainer and be able to pass on the message to your fellow teachers, as well as parents, as well as the kids who are absolutely the final beneficiaries. And yes, and we hope that we can still be able to organize this kind of training. There's something else that SOTHEB we're also running, which I also wanted to bring to your attention. As you are aware, the schools are still compromised in terms of education. Kids are staying at home. They are not able to resume studies. Together with Google, we are partnering with them to sell the Google for Education and to make it available for schools, as many schools as possible. So kindly let us know if you need this service because it will enable the learning to continue remotely. We have managed to connect a number of schools, so please don't remain behind. And the schools that have been able to connect to this, really, they are seeing a transformation. Because, for example, in Kenya, I think all the other classes will resume next year in January. And so you have an opportunity to keep engaging. Mine is to thank our partners, Google, for supporting this. And of course, the Cape Town Science Center in South Africa. And we hope that we can be able to keep this kind of programs and be able to impact as many young people as possible in the country. So if there is no question, I think it's to thank you, Madam Clarice. So we digitally clap for you wherever you are here. Good work done, confidence, and very great presentation and delivery. I think I can also see that from the comments. Yeah, so thank you very much. Be on the lookout for more of such trainings that as we make them available and also to announce to you. And until next time, have a great evening. Thank you very much.